After an epic battle with the forces of evil, there's usually an enormous sense of relief. You beat the villain, saved the love interest, and made sure hundreds of underpaid low-level baddies won't be going home to their families tonight. Probably, you deserve a bit of a break. But that moment when you let your guard down is also the moment when you're most vulnerable to the game sucker punching you. So, watch out for that. And that's the end of this video. You're now safe from rug pull endings, terrible jokes, and Mike's weird facial expressions. Ha! As if. Prepare for all those things, and spoilers for the following games.
Donkey Kong Country on the SNES was the game that really transformed Donkey Kong's reputation from woman-kidnapping construction site jerk to lovable furry lunkhead. It helped that we were introduced to Donkey Kong's gorilla relatives like Cranky Kong, Candy Kong and Funky Kong, adding much-needed depth to the character. You see, the Donkey Kong games are all about family. A bit like the Fast and Furious movies, only with smaller arms, somehow? So, by the end of Donkey Kong Country, we were really rooting for Kong as he faced off against final boss King K. Rool, who's dressed like a monarch, but for some reason lives on a pirate ship. Pick a theme and stick to it, man. Lizard man. Whatever. After an intense boss battle that involves a lot of head jumping, King K. Rool finally falls over, Kong celebrates, and the credits roll. Which is the point of the game where we normally put the controller down, lean back on the sofa, and consider our own brilliance for a bit. Not long, like maybe an hour? Big mistake! These credits are actually fake, as you can tell from the fact that someone is credited with being in charge of colouring, with a K. King K. Rool leaps back up and continues to fight, requiring a further 3 head injuries before he finally gives up for good, and potentially kills you, putting you right back to the beginning of the boss fight. Not cool, Donkey Kong Country. I mean, why would you put anything important after the credits when I've already left the cinema and I'm not allowed back in to find out who Nick Fury's recruited next? I'm talking to you, Marvel Studios, and the employees of North Greenwich Odeon.
After countless lives, he challenges the chains of metempsychosis.
I'll play with you for a little while.
Very well. This should be interesting.
Soulcalibur 3 for the PS2 was the third in a series of fighting games that prides itself on being completely historically accurate.
Those who get in my way will die.
What? There might have been a person with a giant owl face in Renaissance Italy. Were you there? Exactly. Alright, so it's more that Soulcalibur takes inspiration from history, which is why in Soulcalibur 3 there's a boss character inspired by one of the ancient wonders of the world, the Colossus of Rhodes. What he lacks in speed he makes up for in being 6 times as large as any of the other fighters. Colossus is a formidable foe in the game's Tale of Souls mode, and though he does move at a pace that makes continental drift look urgent, he's also enormous, made of solid stone, and his attacks are devastatingly effective, knocking away a huge chunk of your energy bar.
You lose.
He's sort of like The Rock, only actually made of rock. If you can avoid getting booted in the face by his size 114 feet for long enough to chip his health down to 0, you can bask in the glory of a well-earned victory against Colossus. Well, unless you're standing directly in front of him at the time, in which case he will fall on top of you, instantly killing you and winning the match by default.
You lose.
Come on, can't we at least call that a draw? Yes, the way to beat Colossus is to be on high alert, even after the fight has officially finished, and sidestep what is essentially a man-shaped skyscraper falling on top of you. Great, now that's sorted, can we go back to just accidentally falling out of the ring at the end of a match instead? Hey, that one still counts as a win. Putting up those W's.
Before we start, 1998 point-and-click game Hopkins FBI is a bad game. I hope it's clear by now that just because we put a game in a video doesn't mean we actually approve of it. It's a ludicrously gory but otherwise tedious police procedural and includes a load of gratuitous nudity and features a deeply unlikable hero.
Will he survive?
I'm not sure. I'm not a doctor.
Help me, I'm wounded.
Where are you wounded?
I was joking.
It's not funny.
In addition to being a total jerk, Hopkins also has to be the dumbest agent ever to join the Bureau. I mean, he keeps a live grenade in his desk drawer, and the password to his computer is his own surname. Dude, at least use a number 1 for the I. The game ends with a climactic confrontation between Hopkins and criminal mastermind Bernie Berkson, and just like in fellow point-and-click game Monkey Island, they decide to settle their differences with a sword fight. Unlike Monkey Island though, you don't actually have to do any of the sword fighting. Hopkins runs Bernie through in the game's final cutscene, resulting in what is admittedly the best death line in the history of video games.
I don't feel very well.
Probably that sword in you. And that's the end of the game, complete with a celebratory newspaper front page. Well, unless you didn't do this one tiny thing, in which case, just as you're breathing a sigh of relief, Bernie comes back to life and shoots Hopkins.
Immortality, Hopkins! I'm immortal. Have you forgotten that?
Oh, you want to know what the one thing was? Alright, but it's a long story. So, you create a clone of yourself and immediately kill that clone with nerve gas. The clone then goes to the afterlife, where he needs to sabotage Bernie's immortality machine that allows dead people to teleport back into their bodies. To achieve that, while playing as the clone, you need to take a knife from a guy's chest and cut the yellow cable below the teleporter pad. Fail to do that, and when you return to controlling the real Hopkins for that final confrontation, Bernie returns from the dead and murders you. Hey, didn't say it would make sense. Still, at least Hopkins is dead. I'm going to call this the good ending.
Doom's not exactly a subtle game, unless your idea of subtle is using a piece of forestry equipment to kill your enemies instead of a rocket launcher. Pretty sure it doesn't count. But Doom's level Halls of the Damned had a surprisingly subtle bait and switch that played on your expectations based on the 14 previous levels you'd played. You see, in every other level, the sight of the distinctive Doom exit door is a signal that after all that intense first-person monster shooting, you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the satisfying sound of the results screen totting up your stats. So chunky. In Episode 2, Level 6, Halls of the Damned, though, you head through the exit door and flick the usual switch, only to be slowly lowered into a room full of even more pissed off Hellspawn who are extremely displeased by your presence. I haven't felt this awkward since I turned up to that nudist beach fully clothed. What, I might get cold? Turns out there's another 50% of the level to complete, and you're only allowed to leave after you've unlocked 3 consecutive exit doors. Which seems to be the game's way of saying, no really, for real this time, no takebacks, Scout's honour. Of course, it then pulls the exact same trick again in Episode 3's secret level, The Warrens, only with you fighting a terrifying cyber demon instead. Okay, forget everything I said about Doom being in any way subtle.
Before the very first Prince of Persia, its creator, Jordan Mechner, created a game called Karateka, which is actually pronounced Karateka, not Karate Ka, which is a shame because I would totally play that game. Karateka, which is the name for a master of karate, featured a similarly impressive animation system to Prince of Persia, and in it, the unnamed hero attempted to rescue his love, Princess Mariko, from the evil warlord Akuma. That's no relation to Akuma from Street Fighter, as far as we know, but a similar taste in evil. Your job as the Karateka is to breach Akuma's fortress, duff up assorted enemies using realistic martial arts moves, and fight your way to Mariko's rather Spartan accommodation. I bet there isn't even Wi-Fi there! Also because it's feudal Japan. Though you might be overwhelmed with joy at finishing the game and saving the princess, if you forget to change your stance and accidentally move in towards Mariko with your dukes up, your relief will quickly turn to horror as she basically kicks your face off, killing you instantly. Looks like the Karateka has become the Karateki. Karateki? I'm really struggling with the pronunciation here, guys. Either way, what you should have done instead, a bit like retrieving your wallet from the mouth of a mountain lion, was to use slow, non-threatening movements. Not going to forget that trip to the zoo in a hurry.
You are a long way from home, cowboy. You have my sympathies.
Guess that's a local's way of breaking the ice. Anyway, you know what this is all about. My assignment is to search for the president's missing daughter.
What? All by yourself?
The motto of the United States Secret Service is worthy of trust and confidence, and that description fits Resident Evil 4's Secret Service agent Leon Kennedy like a T. Sorry, to a T. That thing is tight. After all, this is a man who has protected the president's daughter from hordes of parasite-crazed villagers, battled terrifying mutated monstrosities, and still finds time to be kind to injured animals. He's usually in control of the situation, is what we're saying, so when he relaxes after a boss fight, so do we. That was a mistake in Resident Evil 4's boss fight against Del Lago, the gross, slimy lake monster that you face near the end of Chapter 1 of the game. Del Lago, despite already having snacked on his favourite dish of dead police officers, is still determined to make fish food out of Leon. So ensues an epic boss battle in which Leon hurls harpoons at the Leviathan while it tries to drag him to a watery grave. Inflicts enough damage though, and Del Lago starts to sink to the lake bed. Leon relaxes and, as far as we're concerned, the fight is over. Time to set the controller down, have a sip of tea, and think about how great we are at killing fish monsters. That's when the greatest betrayal of all happens. Our best friend, the rope that we had been using to water ski behind Del Lago, grabs Leon by the ankle and attempts to send him to the depths along with his defeated foe. How could you, Rope? Trusted you. What follows is a manic button-mashing QTE, which, if you're not ready for it due to, I don't know, having confidence in Leon, leads to this 100% unexpected drowning. The moral of the story? Always shoot first when it comes to fish monsters. Or, man, okay, don't do that. Morals are hard.
You let my angel go now, stranger, and maybe I will blow your head off nicely.
Garcia Hotspur spends the entirety of Shadows of the Damned dedicated to saving his girlfriend Paula. Well, that and swearing like a sailor who has also stubbed his toe.
When demons hear the name Garcia Hotspur, they run the other way.
I mean, unless that really is his middle name, in which case I apologise for suggesting he's anything less than 100% focused on his mission. Garcia's journey involves hours of travelling through the City of the Damned, battling all manner of demons in an attempt to get to Fleming, the terrifying Lord of the Demons and surprise purveyor of dietary information.
Care for a bite of my last supper. It's low in trans fat.
Yes, it's a human leg, but I am trying to cut down on my trans fat. Kill Fleming and Garcia is finally reunited with his darling Paula in a touching scene, ruined only by one thing. The fact that shortly after the credits begin to roll, Paula attempts to throttle you and then swallow your head. If you're a relationship counsellor, where do you even start with that? It really hurt me when you tried to eat me. There's then a further traumatic boss fight where you have to repeatedly shoot your beloved girlfriend in the face, and also in the 6 wings she just sprouted. That's definitely going to come up in the next counselling session, I'm just saying. Still, it all ends mostly happily ever after, with Garcia and Paula making up over a delicious meal of burgers that may or may not be made of humans.
You even made hamburgers.
Well, the hamburgers come from a special recipe.
Human burgers! Cheaper than couples counselling and surprisingly low in trans fat.
Here we go again.
Whoa, I thought we were safe in all of those situations, and then we weren't. Can't believe my expectations were upended like that. And speaking of your expectations being upended, why not watch this video from us, which is about trustworthy characters we thought you could trust, but it turned out they were bad and betrayed you as bad. Or you can watch this video down here from Outside Extra, which is about the times you died right at the start of the game. I mean, that's worse, isn't it? Like right at the start, weren't expecting that, were you? You thought, oh, here's the whole game. Too bad, you're dead.